everyone. I am Dr. Deepa Dhake, Director of Biozone Classes, and I am here with my NEET 2020 ongoing crash course series to boost your preparation. In last session, we completed our 3 phylums, that is Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Porifera, and now for this session we conclude or we study about the Platyhelminthes and Aschelhelminthes. As I mentioned earlier, only 2 or 3 phylums we study at a time in a comparative way. So first in this session we study about how the Platyhelminthes and Aschelhelminthes differ from each other. So let's begin with Platyhelminthes and Aschelhelminthes. The members of Aschelhelminthes, you remember again, they are also called as Nematoda, or the class phylum is also known as Nemathelminthes. So here we remember, so comparative analysis we made here for Platyhelminthes as well as for Aschelhelminthes or Nematoda, you can remember. Aschelhelminthes. Okay. Now, first we see what is the body pattern in Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes are commonly called as flatworms. Why they are called flatworms? Because the body of the worms is dorsiventrally flat, just like a ribbon or just like a leaf. Dorsiventrally flat body, and because of that these animals or the members of this class are commonly called as flatworms. So this thing you remember. I think it is clear to all that the members of Platyhelminthes are commonly called flatworm. Aschelhelminthes body is rounded in sections, and therefore the members of this phylum are commonly called roundworm. So these are the 2 common terms in general we use for the members of Platyhelminthes and for the Aschelhelminthes. Okay. Now we come towards the Platyhelminthes. So if you observe the symmetry, so as we already studied in our first lesson or first lecture of the animal kingdom, that the first triploblastic animal and bilateral symmetry. So first time here you remember Platyhelminthes show the bilateral symmetry, as well as the main important features, other important features are the animal with bilateral symmetry, triploblastic organization, that is 3 germ layers are present, so triploblastic. And third most important, you remember, the Platyhelminthes are acoelomate. That means the coelom is completely absent in Platyhelminthes or flatworms. When we compare these characters with Aschelhelminthes, so Aschelhelminthes are also, you remember, they are also bilateral symmetrical. Secondly, roundworms also show the 3 germ layers in their organization. So they are also triploblastic. One thing you remember for conceptual purpose, from Platyhelminthes till Mammalia, all the phylums are bilateral symmetrical and triploblastic. So the Aschelhelminthes are also bilateral symmetrical and triploblastic, but one here the difference is present, that the members flatworms are acoelomate, whereas Aschelhelminthes, you remember, these members show the false coelom or they are pseudocoelomate. So this thing you remember, the members or roundworms are pseudocoelomate. That means the false coelom is present in these individuals. Now when we come towards the digestive system, so digestive system, this point you remember very well for flatworms, because sometimes it causes a great confusion. So digestive system when we study, so here you remember the digestive system is incomplete. So digestive system either incomplete or it is absent. So digestive system is either incomplete. Now all of you clear what does the incomplete digestive system stands? Or the digestive system, you remember, completely absent. The absence of complete digestive system is present where? So digestive system, when we remember, when we say the digestive system is absent, that means ये याद रखिए digestive system कहाँ absent होंगे? The digestive system is absent in endoparasite. Common example is tinea. So endoparasitic form or endoparasite, you remember, show the complete absence of the digestive system. So the animal without digestive system, if question asked, and in that case if the flatworm is option or mostly आपका tinea solium is provided as one of the option. So tinea or tapeworm, you remember, is an endoparasite, and this tinea or tapeworm show the complete absence of digestive system. In Asclepiades, this is one advancement over the flatworms, that first time digestive system is complete. So first time you remember complete digestive system is developed. So this part you remember, and from Asclepiades onward the digestive system is always complete. That means the two separate openings are present for ingestion as well as egestion. Now the system, a level of organization, if you remember, so level of organization, organ level is there. That means the few organs are developed, but all the organs working on their own, they are not inter-associate with each other. But in Asclepiades, again this is a point for difference with flatworm. Asclepiades याद रखिएगा. In Asclepiades, the grade of organization, you remember, organ system grade of organization. So organ system level or organ system grade of organization is present. So this thing you remember for the Asclepiades. Okay. Now when we come towards the and digestive system here, when one thing again for the digestive system, the complete digestive system is present in Asclepiades, and muscular pharynx for the first time in history of evolution of animals we appear in Asclepiades. So muscular pharynx also you remember along with the digestive system of Asclepiades. After that यहाँ पे देखिए, again the most important part is excretory organ or the organ responsible for osmoregulation and excretion. So here in case of Platyhelminthes, this you clearly remember flame cells. यहाँ पे आपका इस part में दिया है flame cells. And when you study about the excretory system in human physiology, so in that chapter also excretory organs के लिए एक paragraph provide है. So when you study about the flame cells in that part or that chapter, that is excretory or excretion in animals or humans आप study कर रहे हैं. So in that part flame cells के लिए one another name is provided. So flame cells, you remember, flame cells are also called as protonephridia. So flame cells or protonephridia, you remember, excretory organ, and where these excretory organs are present, these excretory organ is present in planaria. So this thing you remember, the member planaria of Platyhelminthes show the development of excretory organ as a flame cells, or you remember flame cells are also called as protonephridia. This is clear to all. Whereas in Asclepiades or in roundworms, in some of the example, we appear the rennet cells. Rennet cells, you remember, rennet cells for excretion is available. So this thing you remember, okay? Circulatory system अभी develop नहीं हुआ है. Slightly musculature is developed and circular muscles you appear in case of Asclepiades. Now we come towards the reproductive part or reproductive system. So these things you clearly remember. One statement is provided in your textbook, even in NCERT, that flatworms are bilateral, symmetrical, triploblastic and acoelomate. That statement you properly remember. One another feature you remember, the false segmentation or pseudo-metameric segmentation. So the flatworms, you remember, flatworms are basically showing pseudo-metameric, or it is also called as false segmentation. That means the segmented body appear only superficially. Internally organisms कैसे हैं आपके? Internally organisms are acoelomate. this pseudo-metameric segmentation, you go through the NCERT. So diagram for tapeworm is provided, and in that diagram of tapeworm, you remember the segments are appear, and those segments, if you appear the structure of tapeworm. So in tapeworm, a very narrow neck is present, and gradually this is broad structure you appear in this way. Clear? The apolysis, these are the additional things which are asked from or question comes from the life cycle of tinea. So additionally, if you interested to score more marks, so you go through the life cycle of tinea. So tinea, here you remember neck region, so neck region, then middle part, and then the tail is present, and 2 pair of sucker or 4 suckers you remember. So 2 pair or 4 suckers, oral suckers भी कहते हैं इनको. So 4 suckers are present because these are the endoparasites, and endoparasites develop the hook and suckers to attach with the body of host as well as to absorb the nutrients from the host. So this thing you remember, I had to show the suckers. Neck region is showing the phenomena of apolysis, and these segments are called as proglottids. False segments are called as proglottids. So proglottids you remember are 3 type in neck region. Proglottids कैसे आपके young proglottids are present in neck region. In mid region the proglottids are little bit larger in size, so they are called as mature proglottids. And in the region of the tail, this region show the greater size of proglottids, so they are commonly called as gravid proglottids. So this thing you remember, and basically the gravid proglottids हैं in this region, the oncosphere larva, actually tinea basically during replication show the indirect development, and in this indirect development tinea develop nearly 4 to 5 larval form. So oncosphere larva you remember, oncosphere larva, capsulated larva it is. So oncosphere larva is present in gravid proglottids, and then it gives off from the body of the humans with along with feces or fecal matter, and then in pig the secondary host for the tinea solium or tapeworm is pig. So the oncosphere larva actually enter inside the body of the pig. So this thing additionally you, if you want to score, again I am saying, so additional part के form में आप जाइए for the life cycle and larval forms of the tinea solium. Otherwise you strictly follow the NCERT. Clear? So this part you remember, pseudo-metameric segmentation. In Escherichia helminthes, pseudo-metameric segmentation is completely absent. Now when we come towards the next point, that is regarded with reproductive systems or reproduction. So here you remember, again the flatworms are hermaphrodites, or commonly it is mentioned the sexes are not separate. That means flatworms you remember, flatworms are hermaphrodite animals, whereas the unisexuality, so यहाँ पे ये देखिएगा from Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, first 4 phylum. First 4 phylums are hermaphrodite, and from here after Escherichia helminthes आप यहाँ पे देखिएगा, Escherichia helminthes again showing the unisexuality. So the individuals are unisexual with distinct लिखा हुआ है, distinct male and females are present. Distinct male and female का meaning है they are unisexual with sexual dimorphism. That means on the basis of feature one can differentiate between the male and female worms. So sexual dimorphism is present. For this purpose use statement wise true and false type of questions के लिए याद रखिएगा. Females are long, female worms are longer than male. Diagram, again you go through the diagram for this part. So female worms are longer than male, and secondly the male worms show curved tail. Hooks are also present, but curved tail will clearly appear. So male worms showing the tail and tail clearly show the curved end. So curved end is present in tail. On the basis of these two features, one can differentiate between the male and females of the roundworms. Clear? Now fertilization, here you remember fertilization in both cases. The fertilization is internal fertilization. So you easily remember this part. Here also internal fertilization is present, but the mode of development is further vary in both the phylum. In Platyhelminthes only indirect development आप study करते हैं. So indirect development you remember. Indirect development means during the process of development of zygote, a number of larvae or at least one larva is produced. So regarding to Taenia, Cercaria, Metacercaria, Oncosphere, number of larval forms आपको appear होंगे. All those larval form you remember for the Taenia solium. So indirect development, that means the larval phases are present during the development phases. Whereas in Asclepiades आप याद रखिएगा, development may be indirect or direct. Now what does direct development means? Without larval formation, new young ones are produced. And यहाँ पर आपको एक क्वेश्चन आता है. So direct development is shown in, so direct development और viviparous worm भी कहते हैं इसको. So direct development और viviparous worm you remember उस फॉर्म में क्वेश्चन आया है. So direct development और viviparous worm you remember it is present in filarial worm and the filarial worm is Wuchereria species. That species we later study करते हैं आप human health and disease में. So Wuchereria you remember, Wuchereria is a filarial worm. It is showing the direct development or it is a viviparous worm. It is also called as midnight worm. And for objective purpose from the class 12 syllabus, Wuchereria के लिए याद रखिए Wuchereria और filarial worm causes elephantiasis or filariasis. And predominantly they are present in the lymphatic vessels of the lower abdomen. ये पार्ट बिल्कुल याद रखिएगा filarial worms के लिए. One thing you now remember कि you are preparing for the your NEET examination. 11th and 12th में पढ़ने का मोड ये था कि 11th में in class 11th you only restricted with this 11th syllabus and in 12th we only restricted or limited with the 12th syllabus. But when you prepared for the NEET examination, so suppose आप 11th में Wuchereria पढ़ रहे हैं and in 12th class also human health and diseases में आप filariasis और elephantiasis disease आपने study की है. So now for the revision purpose you remember, you try to recollect all the things for that topic or all the lines of the NCERT for that particular topic. So it is quite easy to score a good marks because देखिए 11th में example आप पढ़ रहे हैं Asclepiades में, but at the time of 11th class study, even teachers are not explaining what is the importance of Wuchereria, how it causes an infection because वो आप कहाँ पे पढ़ रहे हैं class 12th में. But अब आप NEET का exam दे रहे हैं and the exam included both the syllabus of class that is class 11th and class 12th. तो अगर आप यहाँ पे दो we study about the Asclepiades, but Asclepiades में अगर filarial worm आप पढ़ रहे हैं, so you again recall that paragraph of the class 12th human health and disease chapter का that is regarded about the filarial worm. Okay, so this thing you remember, indirect development only present in Platyhelminthes, whereas Asclepiades is showing the direct and indirect development. Secondly, this class, both the classes you remember mostly include, not all the members, most of the members of Platyhelminthes and Asclepiades are parasite. Platyhelminthes are mostly parasitic conditions में appear होंगे, endoparasite as well as exoparasite in animals, but in Asclepiades में again एक यहाँ पर मैं 12th से आपको reconnect करके बताऊंगी because they commonly called as nematoda. Clear है? So Asclepiades, some of the members of Asclepiades also show the parasitic nature over the plant group. Now you recall your 12th class biotechnology chapter, and in biotechnology chapter जहाँ पर आपने पढ़ा है RNAi और RNA silencing, in that part you study the RNAi और RNA silencing basically आप किस लिए use कर रहे हैं? We use for the infection of one nematode. Nematode means again the nematode किसको कह रहे हैं? The members of Sclerominthes, and that nematode आपके पास क्या है? Meloidigyne incognitia आप study करते हैं. So Meloidigyne incognitia is a nematode that belongs to again Sclerominthes, and for to control the infection of that nematode, we use the mechanism or we use the process of RNAi or RNA silencing आप पढ़ते हैं. So that we later study in our biotechnology chapters. But here you remember कि in this way only you study for your upcoming NEET examination. Okay. So this thing you remember. The examples for platyhelminthes अगर आप study कर रहे हैं, so number of examples आप study करते हैं. Common example for platyhelminthes you remember. Common example planaria study कर रहे हैं. The maximum or the highest capacity of regeneration. The highest capacity of regeneration is present in planaria. Then second example आप study कर रहे हैं liver fluke. The third example, strictly we example purpose के लिए follow the NCERT. So tapeworm is provided there. So just like a tape, the body of this animal is dorsiventrally flat, long. That's why the common name is provided tapeworm. This thing you remember. In case of Sclerominthes अगर पढ़ रहे हैं, so here you pay attention on the example. One is Ascaris, causes ascariasis. Second filarial worm हम already लिख चुके हैं. Hookworm or you remember Encyclostoma. Encyclostoma is called as hookworm. One pinworm is another example is there. And eyeworm. Eyeworm का नाम आप याद रखिए. Name of the genus and species Loa. Commonly हम कह रहे हैं this is one of the common eyeworm which causes infections in work लिखा है eyeworm. So Loa is a eyeworm. So number of important worms are there or animals are there which directly or indirectly resemble and interfere with the human health. So this is all about you remember for the platyhelminthes and Sclerominthes. In next session we study about the class phylum Annelida and phylum Arthropoda as well as phylum Mollusca. But in that class we are not going for the comparative study because the Annelida, Arthropoda and Mollusca as such not showing any resemblance or differences are much more as compared to resemblance or similarities. So individually we study about Annelida, Arthropoda and Mollusca. Okay. So this part you remember very well. Boost up your preparation slowly. Again I am saying improve your reading speed. But along with reading you keep accuracy because speed से read कर रहे हैं but accurately read नहीं कर रहे हैं. So that kind of reading is also totally waste. So try to read. Suppose अगर कल आपने थोड़ा time match करके देखिए कि yesterday if you completed 2 or 3 pages suppose लेके चलिए. Yesterday you completed the reading of 3 pages in 10 minutes. So today you try to complete the reading of those 3 pages. Again those 3 pages only I am saying. Those 3 pages in 8 minutes or 7 minutes. So in this way you can boost your preparation because NEET जो है 180 questions है आपके पास and 180 minute is a time period for your examination. So you have अगर आपको 180 questions completely cover करने हैं so 1 minute for one question. So 1 minute for one question तभी possible होगा when biology section आप बहुत speed से accuracy से read करेंगे then whatever time you save in your biology section अगर 90 questions है तो 90 question you try to complete in 45 to 50 minutes with accuracy again I am saying. So that whatever time you deduct for the whatever time from 90 minutes of biology आप अपने पास save कर रहे हैं that time you can give for the physics and chemistry. Okay. So keep with us, subscribe my channel for latest update and motivational session. Thank you. Stay blessed and stay hydrated.